Hello everyone, this is the Good Captain, and welcome to another video in my LP on Campaign Series West Front. This is the mission number 2 in the linked campaign game titled Hohenstaufen's Armored Fist, and the name of the mission is In Plenty of Time. So we'll read the historical and then move on. So Rory, 15 kilometers west of Caen, France, first contact with the enemy. After doing so well and getting to the front, your battalion has had the chance to dig in and prepare for the expected British onslaught. Unfortunately, most of the remainder of the division has been delayed, and it will probably be some time before substantial reinforcements arrive, although some can be expected within the next hour. Guess that's it. No, it's not. You must hold the line until relieved by the 19th SS Panzer Grenadier Regiment. Okay, so let's do the first thing first. Let's take a look at the elevation changes of the map by dabbing the 4 key. So, our defense of this area is primarily situated between two spurs or two hills, which is somewhat frustrating. Yeah, so we're nestled in between these two spurs here and here, south and north, and the balance of our forces between it. Okay, you know, whatever. In the top right we have a higher ground area, and in the bottom right we have a definitely have a high ground area. But with the visibility, so you'd think since this high ground area behind us might be an interesting place to put some long range cannons, which may or may not be a wise idea. It doesn't really matter because visibility is only 10 due to a light rain, so we can't see very far. At least not in the direction that we want to see. So conversely, there's a lot of low ground coming in from the east. But what I remember of this mission, this is the only other mission in this campaign that I have played before because I was smashed to pieces 2 or 3 times before I gave up on this campaign. What I remember is that the British come in from the north, at least at the beginning. So significant terrain. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce these, but there's quite a bit of significant terrain to go over. One is understanding the defense, or the terrain of the defense here. So we're entrenched and in these orchards and hedges. Here's a special building here, a road, right? This is actually not bad. It's pretty good. There's another LCG called Operation Shoestring with the Americans on defense at Guadalcanal, and the Japanese just sort of drive at you in droves. I call it the easiest link campaign game. A good one to practice on if you're new. And this kind of reminds me of it. Look at this. Here's a nice little clover. These really are kind of the better defensive hexes, especially for short range units like this that only have an anti-tank value at adjacent ranges and are likely going to hit some tanks. So this is not bad at all. I like the initial setup of the forces, but in regards to the terrain, it complements the trenches very nicely, given that the enemy can't see us unless they're on top of us, and we've got good defenses and good anti-tank values, so we should be able to do some damage. It's over here on the east side of our defense that I'm a little more concerned. We have a string of, what is this, rough hexes with units in defense on them, and I just they're in a great position to view certain things, but I think we're going to be moving most of the infantry assets out of this position and towards these village hexes, because when you click around on the map, you could see that some of these village hexes actually look like decent places to defend, much like in the north. So yeah, and then we have reinforcement. Our reinforcements already brought some come in on 1523, so this hex here is a little disconcerting. It's a little high, but I think we get most of our reinforcements coming in pretty early, so we'll get them into position as quickly as we can. Hopefully it won't be an issue. So the objectives are 10s, 20s, and 30s, right? So clearly we're supposed to hold the town and this defensive perimeter. There's 10 points on the asphalt road out here, paved road out here, and this one's interesting because this is a 30-pointer out in the paved road out here and another 30-pointer in the town of Miss. But I'm gonna prioritize force preservation over the objectives, at least for the first 2/3 of this scenario. We have plenty of fast movers, half tracks, stugs, that if we defeat the enemy tactically, we can move out towards the end of the scenario and pick up these objectives towards the end of the game if we need to. So I'm okay with them being soaked up, these outer ones at least being soaked up, but just to be complete, there are 9 that total 200 points, and the major victory is 440. So we start out with a minor defeat, which is 1 point away from a draw, right? So we start out right in the middle nearly. So it can go either way. Another thing to notice that's interesting in my opinion is that the scenario designer has soaked off a lot of the action points for this force at the beginning. Look at this. Everything is basically cut in half, or it has no movement points. So clearly we were not allowed to or encouraged to do very much in terms of movement and repositioning in regards to the beginning. But that's okay. I don't think we really want to move too much. We'll move some units for certain reasons that I'll describe while we're moving them, but I feel like we're pretty much in the best spot for the defense. Okay, so our support is the artillery. We don't have any off-board artillery, but we do have a few on-board guns on loan to us. These 150mm infantry guns, also they're labeled as infantry guns, but they're actually going to be primarily used as indirect fire, and I have the stats on them. We'll pull them up later. Air power is none. Go figure. And then reinforcements. I already brought parts of my reinforcements on, these 2 stugs that are loaded with tank riders, but I didn't get the other 2. They should have come on this turn. I guess I failed my dice roll, so that sucks. And then another set of 120mm in the same location, so both of those will come in next turn. And we have 2 smokes if we need them. So what's the plan? Well, we're going to sort out the defense in the north, but more or less leave it in place and wait for the British to come. But over here in this rough terrain position, I'm going to leave the anti-tank gun, and I am going to pull everyone off of this hill here and put them in the village hexes to the west to help bolster the defense of this high value area and to protect the artillery and to, I guess, more or less Just, I don't want these guys getting thumped out here. There's no trenches, there's no nothing, but since we have this, you probably can't see it under there, but there's that's a pillbox, what do they call that, a bunker in there, so that, I'll set the opportunity fire to close, or mid and close range for this anti-tank gun so he doesn't shoot targets he can't do damage to, and then let him sort of spot. Stay hidden and spot. And more, for the most part, the reinforcements will be moving into the Village Hex's area and offloading their cargoes there and acting as a fire brigade. So I'm going to use I have 4 Stugs on loan to me. But the problem with this German stuff is it's so valuable, it's so expensive. 5 victory points per Stug, 5 victory points per SS Panzer Grenadier. I mean, it's 5 victory points per artillery. Everything is super expensive. The half tracks, even the stumps have 5 victory points per SP. So taking losses is highly discouraged. So but so in just regards for a plan, there's not much. We're going to get the defense sorted and then just try to inflict grievous casualties on the enemy as quickly as possible. All the decisions are just going to have to be made hex by hex, frankly. I will say that I have a plan to, well, it's not even a plan. The anti-aircraft guns will do the best job they can to provide anti-aircraft protection, which means staying within loss of our own units, well, within LOS and normal range for anti-aircraft protection of our own units, and staying out of loss of the enemy. Yeah, and the only other thing that might be interesting is that, well, it's not interesting, but you know, they gave me all my units, which means all the half tracks that are in our order of battle are just back here stacked up. So I'll move, I've got some safe hexes that I'm going to move a bunch of these units into, but otherwise that's it. I have spent an inordinate amount of time just staring at this map, and feels good to finally get to moving pieces. So let's do this. One other thing before we start pushing pieces. This is very important. I think it's very important. One thing I did do with every single piece on this board, it was very labor intensive, but I wanted to make sure I got them all exactly the way I wanted, is Control P on a unit and set their firing range. So I set the infantry units to short range fire. I set the machine gun units to short range. Everybody's at short range fire essentially. The machine gun units will not fire at hard targets ever, right? We have to make sure that right, so the AT guns are set to not shoot infantry. They're set to shoot armor or soft armor vehicles at a very close range, right? This to me was seems to me to be a very important thing to do. It's not necessary for everybody, right? Like these guys could only shoot one space to begin with, but still setting the machine guns not to shoot at armor and telling everyone to shoot as close to adjacent as they can when they can see beyond a 1 hex range seems to be extremely important. So I've got a few more to do. I'm going to off screen this. I'll be right back. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is some boring logistics. We're going to move these serve really, I don't think these are going to serve any purpose throughout this scenario. So I'm going to move these half tracks down to the bottom corner. I don't think I'll move them off, but I'll keep them close to this paved road in case we need someone to go jump and capture up lost victory objectives. But I'm just going to off screen this real quick. Okay, with that on the way, we also need to relocate our stumps, which are the infantry. These are the half tracks that were given to us that are on our organization chart. they have a 75mm gun in there, but this is not for anti-tank purposes. These are infantry support vehicles. You know, I guess adjacent, you could argue they have a... No. Sorry, we're not using these to combat tanks. And yeah, these are just highly vulnerable units that may have a purpose later in the CG, not now. So, back with you. And the same with you. Okay. Next, we're going to move these stump half tracks back to the town of Landella, or Landell. These are the mortar half tracks. And the spot I've designated for them is, you know, we want to get non-combat units off the immediate line here, so I've got this spot designated for them. I'm going to put them here. I am operating a little bit on the assumption that the AI, or that the British aren't somewhere where we can be seen immediately, so this is a little bit of a risk, but I need these things to get into position, so... Okay. So this from this space, they can only see these hexes, right? And we have we can provide mortar support. In fact, let's get our range card set up and see what kind of effect we'll have for our units to the front next turn. Yeah, not very complicated. Range 1, 15, and then down 1 point every hex out to range 9. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. It'll be a soft attack of 9, 8, 7. Not terrible. So, okay, next. Oops, I forgot one. Here we go. Okay. We've got another stump here, so we gotta put him on the road. Okay. And then after careful consideration, I've decided to leave these units here. So we have 120mm mortars, which will be very close to the front lines and remain there. We also have this battalion headquarters, and we have an anti-aircraft unit. This really is this is too ideal. We're in a fortified position away from the front line where we can't be seen, but very close. So all we're going to do is move the prime movers out. Okay, the next step is to ramp up the leadership. I want leaders all across the front wherever they can be. We don't need the range boost with regards to our battalion headquarters, so we're even going to commit Colonel Gruber. Yeah, so it's just going to be a matter of making sure we spot the leaders into the right positions. Actually, it looks like Captain Segler doesn't have much to do, although he'll just stick with the anti-aircraft guns. So yeah, we'll move him here. Oh, that's right, they screwed us out of action points. Not this one though. Okay, so you'll go here. You'll go here. Okay, we've definitely leaned out our front line position, and we are ready for fighting. Is there any other adjustments we would like to make? I don't know. I feel a little leery about leaving this guy here. Oh, our prime movers, no, they can't move. Kind of got a little blind spot here. Might need to plug that with our reinforcements. So, yeah, why don't we just charge forward here? Let's check between these two hexes. Oh yeah, this is much more. Just need to get into a good habit of moving safely. So let's move here. Yeah, after studying things a little bit, it's clear that these Stug 3Gs, the riders on them need to go into this little gap here where these anti-tank guns are, but these fortified positions basically are unoccupied. So that's where we're going to send our 2 companies. Plug that gap and follow on units, and the reinforcement, or the units on this rough line will move in and seal the remaining position closed here. Our right flank is still in the air, so we'll close that off. But we only have local reserves, you know, so again, this is going to be like a hex by hex battle. There are not going to be any sweeping movements. I anticipate not having any sweeping movements. It's a very tactical level fight. So tactical level reinforcements. So I've got this machine gun platoon here, or company here. I've got this, no, it's a platoon, my bad. Machine gun platoon, this one here as well, and as well as this SS Panzer Grenadier platoon. Those will basically be the reserves that we'll use to help plug gaps and just put them where they're needed. The only other true reinforcement are the Stugs, which will move around to the troubled areas as well, insofar as they can. The biggest concern I have is less with regards to, at least at the moment, enemy units, ground units. It's more enemy air units that I'm a little scared of. So I want to get my guys into position really by the end of the next turn, or at the latest, the 3rd turn. Everyone should be in position and bunkered down in good terrain and under the anti-aircraft umbrella where possible. So, alright, I know that I'm kind of dragging my feet here, but it's just I'm very nervous, and the blood's running, so I'm trying to just be extra careful, extra cautious while I can be. Okay, so I've cycled through everybody. Do we want to call in the 120 millimeters? No, not yet, of course not. I don't think we'll take contact on this first turn. I think we'll hear a lot of movements, but I think it's just from what I can see of the scenario design, it looks like we get a turn or 2 grace period to set up. But that's it. Here we go. Whew. Okay. Yeah. kidding me? The reinforcements didn't come in. That's incredible. Yeah, we missed it. And they turn 2, they didn't come in either. This is really bad. Wow. Okay, so we see some loaded Bren gun carriers, but we don't have... We probably are not in range, although I anticipate that the enemy probably saw this at the end of their turn. It's a moot point. Yeah, they're outside of the hard attack range, so of course they are. Okay, first things first, let's do the boring stuff first. Let's get these tracks down in the corner of the map, and I'm going to off-screen this. Okay, so I actually took the liberty of moving every stump, half-track, and prime mover because it was just fairly tedious. I've realized that probably leaving a prime mover or two in a position to move AT guns to an embattled part of the board might be beneficial, especially if those AT guns remain unengaged. So I'll leave this prime mover here. If this AT gun never sights anything, we'll move him later. But so for the first actual movement, I'm going to flip the map, and I'm going to move. We're going to double time. Oops, I thought I would get an extra. I just assumed. Okay. So yeah, we're going to move out. Okay, so moving this company into the village hexes area. Okay, and then the Stug. The Stugs will proceed. I think we're going to go right up. No, we don't want to get spotted, so we will unload our riders here. Yeah, perfect. And you as well. You will stay put. This hex is technically overloaded. But we should be okay here. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to disperse some of these Stugs. Just in case, you know, they come up the left flank here. Have them a little bit closer. Okay, next I've decided to move this anti-aircraft unit just so. Let me explain what I'm doing. I'm going to move the anti-aircraft guns so that my whole line is protected. Right now we have a blind spot. These units, and these units have no anti-aircraft protection, and the hex right behind them, here and here, are able to provide that curtain while still being protected from enemy fire. So we're going to move this unit right here. Okay. this. Yeah, we need to reposition our leaders. So we're going to do this guy here, this guy here, and this guy is going to move up with the AA guns here. Oh, except I just moved him there this turn. Whoops. Okay. So we cycle through. Oh, I just noticed this heck. Yeah, this is an overstacked. Man, this is an overstacked location because the AT guns. Same here. So we gotta figure this out. Yeah, we need to pull the machine gun teams. This machine gun team should come back. Let's put you in the fortified position here. And I hate to do this. The reason I'm doing this is because it gives a bonus to the enemy to shoot an overstacked hex. I hate giving anything to the enemy, although we are thinning out the line by doing this. Little pause. Yeah, just because there's a 2 hex spread between us and the enemy, we need to disperse this hex a little bit. So we'll pull 1 unit off the position adjacent and move 1 unit in. Lastly, we will tell this guy to dig in. Maybe he gets lucky. I realize it's the only non-fortified location, so let's do that. I think that's it. I think that's the best we can. I'm debating now. I think I'll push this guy up and start digging in on this road hex just so we have a layered. Yeah. Send them both. Yeah. Yeah, we can fortify another row of hexes behind this row. Maybe it's not likely, but if we get lucky, maybe we'll fortify them. Could help. Okay, let's cycle through. If it seems like I'm dragging, I am. I'm just really nervous, and I'm really nervous especially that the reinforcements have been so appalling. Like, I should have had more stuff on the board, and I don't. So, do we want to call any fires or any smokes? I do not. We want to keep everyone maximum ready. I want to put these mortar half tracks closer, but again, the problem is that we were defending between 2 spurs, so if we decide to leave, it's hard to see how they can easily extract themselves if they get into a tight spot. So I don't want to risk them. They're my core units. So okay, let's give the enemy its turn. Well, let me set these guys op fire. We just unloaded them, so now we can. Okay, give the enemy its turn. Disconcerting. It's pretty close and in my soft spot there. so thin on this side. Thank you. Reinforcements have arrived. Although nobody dug in. Only the trucks. Oh my goodness. Ah, jeez. We need more stugs. We should have had more stugs. Okay, the most pressing issue is moving these units into a defensive position, so off we go. And you go here. Next, we need to set up the defense in the village hexes. So, yeah, just run on in. There's not much. This will be a fast turn, so let's just you dig in, you dig in, you dig in, you dig in. Yeah, let's move. Yeah, let's move this unit here. Next turn we'll start him digging in, even though not a very good chance of that happening. And then the 120 millimeter mortars, gotta find them a spot. I really like this spot, very close but relatively safe. Yeah, right where this stug is. Let's get him in there. Yeah, let's put him here. Alright, now the stugs. The decision for the stugs is, do we put them in a place where they can snipe at tanks coming, or units coming in, or do we hide them? And I'm heavily in favor of just keeping them tucked away in a position where they can race in, snap some easy shots, and then go back into hiding. Again, I'm very worried about air attack, and the fact that these things are worth so many points. I don't want to exchange fire. I want to hit and run. So I'm going to pause it now, or go off screen and move a lot of these non-essential units. Okay. We need yet another turn. We're on turn 3, and we still need one more turn to get everyone put into position. I've decided to place one stug in here with the machine gun platoon. And this stug will just basically stay put. No, he can't stay put. No, maybe he can. The 75mm AT guns can kind of cover the route. Still, let's put him in. Okay, so he can. Oh, this is a no. That's too far. You can see too many hexes. Yeah, let's just move him here. Cycle through. It's the Alamo. I I think we're gonna get some. I don't know if there's gonna be shooting this next turn, but we're gonna definitely make some contact. They are coming in. And we're still so thin on this side, it's very disconcerting to me. It really ticks me off the Stugs with the reinforcements didn't come in. Yep. That's right where we're weakest. Okay, I haven't seen any heavy armor. Wow. Good shot. Oh my god. There's armor. Why aren't we shooting? I suppose it's probably for the best. Dang. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're deployed. Wow. Deployed more. Okay. So, there was some bloodshed. Let's find out what we did. We knocked off anti-aircraft tanks, 20mm anti-crusaders. That was 8, and then we knocked off 3 points worth of 6-pounder anti-tank guns. So good shooting, although you missed the trucks. We'll have to clean that up. Here is my biggest concern, definitely. We cannot give this position up without a fight. We might be able to do some terrible damage to them, but we're just going to have to commit both platoons. We cannot be disrupted and overrun next turn. We need one turn to call in that fire support. So yep, I think we're just gonna have to move in. Yeah, we'll call on the Stugs to wipe out these loaded units, but first things first, let's bait some shots. So I gotta check soft attack, my soft attack with the Panzer Grenadier unit versus the Stug. So Stug's soft attack is a 9. SS Panzer Grenadier is a 12. Okay, so we want to hit the dismounts with this guy. Yep. And we're disrupted. First shot. Wow. In a fortified. Well, there's nothing left to do but move in and hit this. Disrupted. Okay. And now we bring in the Stugs. This one. Excellent. So that was a hard hit for the enemy. what did we get? We knocked off a carrier section 43. Let's pull the stats on that to see what we're fighting. This is really threatening to armor. Look at that. Their best attack is 1 space against hard targets. We do not want our armor adjacent to these guys. That's what I just learned right now. And since we have no shot to take anyway, we need to pull back to a place where we can't be seen, so not here or here. Probably back to right where we came from. Can even go one more space, which we might want to do if they come up here. We'll risk it. There's just too many bad guys. We're going to need them to do that again. Okay, the next question is, can we? No, we can't get the other Stug in here to do. Oh, we could, but we'd be seen. Although we haven't seen any armor units, it would be a bit of a risk. But I think we're going to have to take the risk because, yeah, we're going to take this risk. We're going to lay in a shot on that other loaded carrier. Yeah, we had to. We needed to. This risk was appropriate given the thin situation at the front here due to lack of reinforcement. Okay. And we can move one more space, and we shall. We'll move here. Good. Very good. That is, we could not have done any better over here, I think. Over here, just want to mop up. Yeah, we want to mop up these trucks. Use you. Okay. I don't know how we're seeing these guys. I really don't get it. How did we see them? Must have been seen passing through. Yeah, and then they moved here. So they'll disappear. Okay, anyway, the next big thing is, what is this and what are our odds of causing damage to it? Seems like pretty good. Shot. Looks like a Churchill. Let's pull up the book. A little pause. Yeah, they're definitely some kind of Churchill. It could be really any kind of Churchill, according to the book. And I don't think we can take the risk that they haven't seen us. I'm gonna. If we shoot, they could shoot back. But if we wait until the next turn, they'll shoot first. So let's just target one of them and let fly. Not good. Yeah, they see us. Wow, we soaked all their shots and nothing happened. Let's try again. The leader's directing. Disrupted. Better than nothing. This is a really crummy situation. So we can actually hold the position here because we know that they can't have artillery falling on us this turn. I don't think, yeah, it's not possible that they could do that just yet. So we could overstack this hex, because if we don't, this guy gets disrupted, the whole thing's gone. So I hate to do this, but we will overstack. Ugh. And just hope they sort of move into a poor position. Man, we really need the Stugs over here, but we don't have them because they were delayed off the board. Let's unload these 120 millimeters. Move the trucks into safety. And yeah, there's something coming down this road, so we need to get into position. You are actually not in a bad spot at all. Let's dig in. We need someone to cover this hex though. So we'll double time you and move the machine guns here. Okay, at least we've got this company where we want them for the most part, so that's good. You're set to fire. Yeah, good. Okay. First blood goes to us, but that's to be expected on a defensive scenario like this, so let's see if we can keep it up. Okay, now another very important aspect of this turn. Where are we going to fire? Where are we going to drop our artillery? And we need to drop all of it and as often as we can. So our 120 millimeters, these are our best shots here. I'm going to place one here, and I'm actually going to place one here, and the other, we got one more 120 millimeter shot. Let's see, the AI will know this is here because he's been one turn adjacent to it. He'll know this is here, so I don't think the AI will move into either of these. We'll place one here. Okay, the 150 millimeter infantry guns. Let's drop one here. Just make sure we, yeah. So yeah, this AT gun is doing yeoman's work by spotting. So we're just going to keep it coming here. They won't be able to move into this space, so we're good there. Let's see. They might move here, but I don't think so. I think we should put one here. And I haven't seen any infantry over here, so I'm not going to waste it on that just yet. And now what we're going to do is layer the artillery. So just 1, 2, 3, and then our half-track artillery, just layer it in there as well. And then let's pick a couple of spots. I guess we could put one here just in case they move off. And one is, yeah, this spot and this spot. Okay. So it's going to come down thick and heavy on that line right there. Okay, we might see what kind of artillery assets the enemy has. There might be some fire. So let's cycle through real quick. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We've done the best we can, so. Oh, they got one. It looks sporadic. Yeah, it's random. It's the worst kind. Dang, I hope they didn't disrupt the guy who wasn't disrupted. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, let me see those guys. Okay. Yeah, this position's gonna fall. Yeah, they're both disrupted. 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 That's too bad. That is really too bad. Oh, wow. They moved off. Dang. Okay. Shoot him! Good. Oh, they didn't hit the loaded ones? Oh, you... Oh, why didn't you keep shooting? Shoot! Come on, guys! That's terrible. That's not good. That's not good. We wasted a ton of action points. This next turn. Oh, jeez. Come on, shoot, guys. Oh, we lost the... Shoot! Why aren't they shooting? Why aren't my guys... This is so bad. Shoot! Defend yourselves. Why? I don't understand. Eliminated or treated, no effect. One disrupted. Ugh. Nothing. Wow. I'm stunned. Why did nobody fire? They just sat there and beat the snot out of us, and they did nothing. It's exasperating. That's so bad. That is so bad. What's the time hack? Alright, 1 hour. We'll do one more turn just for... Yeah, we'll do one more turn. This might go to 1 hour 15, that's okay. So I'm going to take a little pause and study the battlefield. I just want to point out that reinforcements still haven't come. They should have come on turn 1, and it will be apparently lucky if they come on turn 6. I'm just shaking my head. Shocking. Shocking. Okay. Artillery is going to fall everywhere next turn, and we're going to get hurt. And these are our core units. I'm really concerned about this, but we should still be able to shoot once at least. Let's just shoot and see what happens. So we'll take our strongest unit with leader direction and pop this guy. Okay. I don't know why they couldn't have done that on the enemy's turn, but okay. Next, we'll take these AT guns and shoot these targets at close range. And since we're stuck here, we're just going to shoot again. These AT guns can't move. These are some tough tanks. Unfortunately, in this fighting position, to give it up means to lose our AT guns, and these are core units, so we gotta double down or lose them. So we're gonna go ahead and double down. Yes! Oh, thank God. Yeah, this means exposing ourselves to quite a bit of artillery fire. I'm sorry to say, but in response, we'll just shoot everything we have. Not bad. So let's find out what the heck those tanks are for sure. Churchill 4 infantry tanks. Let's take a quick look at what that means. Okay, so these things are tank killers, and they're really crummy at knocking on infantry, as you can see here. So we're actually in a weird way in the best position. They have a front armor of 14, overall defense of 12. And you can see our Stugs have an 8 and 8. So they're a more heavily armored version of our Stug. And very similar in ways. Their armor, their AP factor, their anti-tank factor is not much worse than ours at closer ranges. So, okay. Okay, so after thinking about it for a minute, I've decided, just given the information we have about these armored vehicles, to be a little bit bold and try to save lives. I think if we sit here, we will be hit by artillery very badly, so, or air raids. So get busy living or get busy dying. I'm going to try to take advantage of their low infantry or soft attack values and push and actually come out of our trenches and hit some guys. So I want to hit this undisrupted guy first. Oh no! It took all my... Oh, it was in a minimum move? A wall. It's just a wall. How is that a minimum move? Oh, no. What happened? Why did that take everything? Oh, I shot him already. Oh, that was a misplay. Oh my gosh. Stupid. That's okay. All right, we're gonna make this work. Jeez, what was I thinking? Hit him. Effect. And then yes, you come forward as well. I think it might actually. We'll see. We'll see. That was a good place to be for anti-artillery operations, but damn, stupid. Okay. Well, anyway, we knocked them over their head a little bit. so maybe we can assault them. If they're unsupported, we might be able to really push them hard. Okay, now here. Let's study the right flank a little bit. Yeah, I think we're good here. All we have to do is wipe out this guy, and then artillery will not be accurate. So let's... And yeah, they're dead. Okay. And now this problem area. First, we want to hit the loaded carriers. Absolutely, that is the priority target. Let's just should we bait some shots? Yeah. Bait some shots by shooting a non-mission essential target. Good. This tank has got to be some kind of Cromwell. Not too worried about it right now. There's nothing we can do. Okay, now the main shot. Knock off these guys in this carrier. Excellent. And now let's see if we can do some damage to this. Oh, there's two different types of armor units here. Let's go for this. This is definitely a Cromwell. Eliminated. Yeah, let's see what it was. Cromwell CS. So let's pull this. I don't think there's any need to pull the stats on that. It was only 2 strength points. I know what that vehicle was. Okay. Then we're left with a question. Do we want to stand and fight, or do we want to pull out to avoid artillery? I think we're going to stand and fight. So let's hit this other armor unit. Just by 1 disrupted. So let's find out what that was. That was a Cromwell Firefly cruiser tank. Should we hit it again, or... No, I have an idea. We're gonna pull this unit out. Oh, you're low on ammo. Both our Stugs are already low on ammo. Are you kidding me? Yeah, let's pull. We'll pull this unit out and then do snapshots with our Stugs. So this. Back. This guy. Back. Okay, little pause. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is move a machine gun platoon in and shoot this guy. Good. I'm tempted to assault this position now and clear it so that the enemy does not call in air and artillery on us. However, doing that would expose this unit, and it is a core unit, so heavily incentivized to do it and heavily incentivized to not do it. We just don't know what's behind it, and so far we're, still a respectable ways off from a major victory. And we've already taken at least, I think we've taken 1 SP loss. I'm gonna do it. Let's move them. Actually, I think we are in a position where we can pull them back in. Well, first things first, we need to plug the hole. There's no infantry in this hex now, so let's move a machine gun up. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and try to bring them back into the fold. So we gotta clear that hex. You here, you here. With 42 action points, we should be able to use that road, so it's a little disconcerting. It must just be the trench. We have to pay the trench cost. We don't get the road. Yeah, unpaved is 28, so we would move right in. So I guess you don't get the road bonus when you're moving infantry into trenches. Okay, now it's time to call down our artillery and give the enemy its turn and close this video. So, first things first, this area, I'm not going to give any artillery. I don't know if these guys will hold or fall back or what the situation behind the enemy lines here is. Here, though, we need most of it. So we'll put 120s here, 120s here. Artillery will very highly likely fall on this area. So let's pull out the disrupted unit. Just leave this one good order unit. Okay, and then the 150s. These guys are pulling out this direction. Yeah, our Tegan's spotting all of this for us. That's great. So let's put 150 here, and one each on those hexes, and one here for good measure. And then, yeah, let's pop one more right into there. Mortar half tracks. Yeah, let's layer them in. Do not stop firing. Fire everything and fire always. So let's cycle through and then give the enemy its turn. This hex, yeah, this is interesting. This hex is overstacked and we could de-overstack it. And I think we'll do that. Just given how meek the enemy is to our front, yeah, let's do that. Seems responsible. And yeah, let's commit. No. They might get bombed on right there. And they're still digging. They might give our AA guns some protection. I guess we'll see, you know, how well or not this aggressive move up in the front pays off. See what kind of artillery they have. We need to straighten up our lines here. Let's kind of move in. A little too much vision. Yeah, much better. Okay, it's interesting that no British units have come down this paved road yet. We'll give them one more turn before we decide if we're going to use this company as reinforcements for elsewhere, but... Okay. I nervously click next turn. Okay. Yeah, we kind of expected this. sporadic fire over here. Wow, not much by the way of artillery and no airstrikes. Okay. Okay, no problem yet. Disrupted. Oh, there's a lot of tanks there. They're gonna overrun us. They are gonna overrun us. What's the time? Okay, yeah, we need to close this. This is getting crazy. This is where mistakes start getting made. Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Oh my god. How are we gonna stop all this? We need to get back into our defensive positions. The artillery was weaker than I expected. Lost the other SP. Dang. Okay. Yeah, these Churchills are just not very good. Yes! Okay, good, we didn't lose anybody. Okay, we improved one position. There are still no reinforcements. God, I can't do this. I need those stugs. Disrupted. Effect. Effect. No effect. Disable. Nice. That's a hit on the armor. Yeah, we got beat up. Coming out of the fortifications, I don't know if that was the right thing. That was... Well, we learned. They don't have very much artillery, so we'll recede back into our fortified positions and just hold up. But this is an ungodly mass of armor. Let's take a look at the losses. Yep, we've lost 4 strength points, and I think 3 of those are personal SP losses. And you know, it's a defensive scenario, and this isn't Guadalcanal. You know, this is doing the best we can, but we got to do better if we want that major victory. So we'll have to figure it out. Thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and bye-bye.